Enrich your skin for 48 hours. Choose to wear your skin with pride with Nivea Rich Nourishing.
Welcome to the space of conversations that matters to us. Tembazana is the host. We are about to start now. I just want to share the word of God. The mfundisi in me doesn't allow me to start anything without the word of God. You know, during the day we face so many challenges, so many things in our lives. So it is important each and every minute that we get, we have something. If we're in church in 11, we are going to read Dorcas, the story of Dorcas, Acts chapter 9. Now you will read for yourself at home, Acts chapter 9, verse 36 to 43. It talks about Dorcas, umfazi owayethunga impahla zangaphansi for abahlolokazi, for abantu abasokolayo. Kuthiwa she was a disciple of God. Kuthiwa kodwa into efani into okubana nobody is telling her story who she was except for her name. I think she was fortunate enough to have a name, because most women in Bible does not have names. But there was no status whether she was married or she was umhlolokazi, she was poor or rich. Nothing is about Dorcas. But the only thing that she was doing, she was sewing the clothes, underneath clothes, that is underwear for the poor. That is a very important service. And I want to mention this, Ukuti. I think we all know that the underwear, it's very important. It feels, even so your neck, when you hang it, you don't just want to hang it anyhow, anywhere, because it's you. And I wanted to say to the young boys and girls in this platform to say, it is important to take care of your underwear. How you wear it, how you take it off. You must always be mindful that at the end of the day, you will have to account for everything that you are doing. And I don't want to dwell, because this is not the service, but I just feel I must read this text. Classes out business namhlanje and focus on equipping abantu abangomama and young men who are in this platform. Go and read the story for yourself. This is about doing the service for God, helping the poor. But kunento endiyithandayo ethi apha, Christian, what is a Christian? A Christian is somebody who is under the obligation or acknowledges God's authority and submit to it. Nothing else. Nothing else but someone who is admitting, acknowledging the authority of God. May God hover upon us in our corners. When we are trying to paddle like a duck under the water, because ubomi ngumzamo. But I want to tell you this, ubomi ngumzamo ozamekayo. Only if you are determined, only if your source of power is God. Make sure that you are connected to God. Whatever you do, make sure that you see the hands of God. May God grant us wisdom and give us power and courage to only desire to please Him. Masthandazi. Egameni loyise nasegameni likaMoya Oyingcwele. Thixo olungileyo, Thixo omhle kangaka, Thixo othandazekayo. Moya wobulumko, moya wempiliso, zakufika izivunguvungu ezimpilweni zethu. Sijonga kuwe emnqamlezweni. Mthetheleli wabantu abangena bathetheleli, sisazi nobana sawuchithwa lilizwe, sawuchithwa nguSathana. You refill us. Sithandazela lo moya ke Thixo wethu olungileyo nangalo mzuzu xa sawuqala kule platform. Let us feel your presence, dear Holy Lord. Let us feel you in our hearts, in our minds, in our bodies. Ngoba Thixo wethu olungileyo xa sihamba nawe, zonke izinto ziyalunga kwaye zonke izinto ziyenzeka. Sibeka ke phambi kobuso bakho our guest speaker today, uNokuthula, Thixo wethu olungileyo, Mfukame, yena nosapho lwakhe, Thixo wethu olungileyo, kwimizamo abayizamayo, bephuma bengena, Thixo wethu olungileyo, besenzela isonke semihla ngemihla phezu kwetafile, bapha amandla, ubathi wambu, Thixo wethu olungileyo, xa besimcela uba makeze azokusherisha, Thixo wethu, ijeni yakhe to this platform, she did not hesitate, because Thixo wethu olungileyo, she believes ekuthini siphakama sakuphakamisa abanye abantu. Silayita amakhandlela ethu nathi xa elayitiwe nguwe. Sincede ke Thixo wethu, sipha amandla emandleni, egameni loyise nasegameni kaMoya Oyingcwele. Amen. Let us just play one song again, and then we come to you, Thulas. You introduce yourself, and then we start. But let me play one song. Okay, Nokuthula, you can ascend to the podium. Unmute yourself, okay?
Okay, I hope ndiyavakala.
Yes, you are clear, Sisi.
Oh, okay, I'd like to greet everybody this evening. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. I feel very honored for ubalapha namhlanje. Thank you so much for inviting me. You know, this is something that I really love to do. Sharing my journey, and also just to get people to learn about how to start a business and how to navigate in the business world. Umna ndinguThuli Mgwebile. I hope I am observing all protocol. I know that you have a vast listenership. So I'm observing everybody. And like I said, I'm very happy to be here. NandinguThuli Mgwebile. I'm originally from Gugulethu in Cape Town. I was born in 1984. I'm actually one of the results of a teenage pregnancy, young 1984. So Sis Thembi is actually cousin to my mom. I think she was the mystery lady because she had me when she was 18, and it was a big hoo-ha because umakhulu wam notatomkhulu wam very strict. Umamam is somebody that was kept ohlala endlini all the time. It was a mystery how she got pregnant. So I think Sis Thembazana were like, what? Oh, but anyway, Umamam xa ibalisa story, she says it was her first time having sexual intercourse, and then wabanam. So it was, she still maintains that story after 36 years. So she's sticking with it. And then nonetheless, yeah, so she's a very wonderful person. She eventually married my dad, believe it or not, and then They had my brother 14 years later. So igap yam between nano brother wam is quite big. But I was born under those circumstances. I've been very fortunate in that umamam yangumakhulu wam, no sister kamamam omdala, who was exposed to many opportunities. Wayophangela overseas. Before ayophangela overseas, nje ndayohlala naye ePretoria, and learned quite a few things about our country, how versatile it is, and wabeyisebenzela foreign affairs. So I got exposed to seeing foreigners at a very young age, abantu basuka Greece, Russia, and so forth. Ndanifunda nabo ke ko standard 1, standard 2, ePretoria. And then I came back when she went overseas, or Antwam, and I stayed with my grandmother. And I found out TV about people who are good in maths, good in science. I discovered number. Actually, I might be quite good at that. So ndaqiniseka kakhulu ngezi-studies zam. As you can imagine, my grandmother was very protective, thinking that it's gonna be another story of another teenage pregnancy. But fortunately, no, I was a good child. I think so. I think I didn't give her too much trouble. Actually, incwadi zam zazindexcita kakhulu. So I really studied my maths and physics, and then afterwards ndahamba funda chemical engineering. Sabe siyinqonqoziswa ngu-government about studying engineering, ntontoni, black woman. And then I thought, no, it's a thing. So I studied chemical engineering, and after that, CPUT, and then it was very tough. It was very, very tough because mostly it's colored and white people. So you can imagine the troubles that we used to face. I remember actually one of my colleagues, I grew very close with a colored guy, a friend, and he used to get such high marks for this subject. And hey, I don't know, when's Anjani? Because actually, when it comes to practicals, you get such high marks, but when it comes to when we have to write a test, you're not doing that well. I was doing well for the test, but the practicals not well. That's it. Why one bonisa? So I submitted more or less the same type of report, but the results still came out bad. So those things for me were really big highlights in my life. And also just to see, and to believe in myself, and also see, sometimes the world is not really with you. You are trying your best, you are doing whatever you can, but you. I'm sorry, laptop him is so.
Okay.
Okay, now so I'm good. I'm charging. Anyway, so yeah, I made it out of there quite well. Funda chemical engineering. After that, I was very fortunate. I went to receive in-service training kwa Petro SA, refinery Mossel Bay. Nalapho zange kube lula because obviously baninzi abantu abapasayo nge-distinctions. Like I said, my road wasn't that easy. So kupaswa nge-distinctions. By the time I got my in-service training, wonke umuntu wayeseplaced basically, and aba bantu basiplaceayo had already stopped placing us. I had to go out by myself, ndifonele indawo, and really reach out. And actually, I think that's where I discovered uba mamela, angiqondi uba ukhona umuntu ozoyeka into zakhe aleqa uzoseyivana nam. So that is where I really began to see uba no, I do have the strength of achieving even greater heights, because even abantu besebeplaceiwe were like, how did you get into that kind of institution? Because being abathatha abantu, and all of a sudden, after you've been pushing and pressing, kwayenzeka that you come in. So after the complete in-service training, yeah, I'm a Petro SA, and then I was very fortunate also. I met up with my husband. That time, the Gqebezel in-service training, yeah, we were planning to get married. I was 23 at that time, and then we moved back. I moved back to Cape Town because we were planning to get married. I've worked at a few production plants since then, and also upped my game in terms of studies and everything. The main reason why I'm here today is just to encourage wonke umntu osimameleyo namhlanje is that it's very important to listen to the inner voice that God is whispering ezindlebeni zethu. You know, there's something very special engakwazi utouchwa mntu, engakwazi utouchwa nayo into unless we allow it. It's an inner sacred space that you and God share. And it's an inner space, closed off to everyone and everything. And I'm pretty sure everybody knows what I'm talking about. Indawo nje a sacred space. And that space is something that really needs to be maintained very, very well and very cautiously. Because sometimes the mistake yethu singenisa abantu kwela gumbi and they mess things up for thina. So I'd like to really remind us that if you letting a person get into that space, it's on your decision because it's only you that can open the door. So for me personally, after ndibonile uba no man, ndaphangela kwezi ndawo prestigious, it became a bit more demanding. It became very demanding because I had to work on Christmas, I had to work on New Year's, I'm working shifts, ndisebenza planting in a production plant. It's very demanding, very intense. Even though kunjalo, money iyangena, but I always ayonelanga. For me, that for me really was the it thing. Ukuba ndisebenze kangaka, ndisebenze all the time, ndivuke kusasa ndiphinde ndivuke ndisiwa, and I've done all that I could when it comes to studies. I mean, I've studied maths and physics and got the high grades, but still, after Uputa in so much work, I'm still struggling with money. And I'm gonna know. Andizukwazi uphila ubomi obunjena. For me, yayinto engcungcuthekisayo kakhulu leyo. They're gonna know there has to be another way here. I'm sure God has intended something else for Bumbam. And then at that time, President Wet was talking a lot about Black women-owned businesses, Black business, and so forth. I decided, okay, that was 2013. I decided to start my own business, but the business was around ilantuka valves, pipes, anything production plant related, because I did not experience anywhere else. So I can't ndiyaziyo about ezinye izinto, but andifuna uspecialize kule area. Obviously, when I started really being serious about my goal, ndacela kuboss wam, because at that time I was working at Koeberg, the nuclear power station. Ndacela kuboss wam that he moves me to procurement because I wanted to learn about evaluator tenders, ufunda about kuhamba njani umcimbi we-tenders, le paperwork sokungxolwa ngayo, and the corruption, where does that all stem from? So I basically went on and learned a lot about tenders and procurement in that space. And I was very fortunate, but ke ngoku, because where I was working, I noticed a lot about abantu, the industry I was in was mostly for international business, and I was doing izinto ezi-active nyani when it comes to engaging Black business to operate in that space. I think I stepped on a few toes of people because ke ngoku sendenza abantu babe uncomfortable. Ndingena ezilokishini sipute posters, ba guys inizani, kukho izinto ezenzekayo ngapha. nuclear, people can also bid for e-tenders, the cleaning, nuclear power station, you can do that. So I was trying to really spread the word. But I ended up with not making a lot of people happy about my initiatives. They can't, but no, I think maybe God is whispering to me, because it was getting very messy. So again, the Puma again, 2016, and I really tried to focus on my business. Kwaba nzima, not kancinci, because ndiqhele lifestyle emnandi, ndineemoto zam, ndinezindlu, everybody's living a nice life, carefree, you understand? But when you start a business, you're cutting all of that off. Cars get repossessed. You're not no more living in your fancy house. Fortunately, my husband was understanding enough, and my mother has a big home in Mamasbury, so we took all our stuff and we moved to her house in Mamasbury. I opened an office with garage yakhe. It was very humble, and I received a lot of assistance and support from my family, especially my husband and my mom. So moved a family to Mamasbury. After we saw that, okay, things are looking a little bit better, so I had an office at town. Still nalapho akabikho nto ibonakalayo ncam, even though ndine office town. One thing that's very vivid in my memory is the day that my fancy car was repossessed. Mamasbury. Oh my God. I was actually trying to hide away from this guy. And nonetheless, I just had to hand it in. It just didn't make any sense to keep it because andiyazi noba ndizayibhatala ngantoni. So those were some very tough and hard lessons that I've learned. But ever since then, I've really been appreciating. And when I look back at those moments, I really appreciate the type of life that I'm living right now. I feel so blessed and privileged. So office theatre Mamasbury went very well. After some time, we expanded last year, so move up to Joburg. We opened a factory here in Joburg. I'm in Joburg right now. So basically, kule nto ye-business and trying to encourage abantu ngento edibene ne-business is kubuhlungu to realize that your fate is on somebody else's hands. And boss emisebenzini, they muscle around and they mess around. They know that you really depend and rely on what they're going to say. And also, what's worse, ababantu basebenzela nzima, mean you are the ubatyisayo ngale salary. They are also waiting on what that boss is going to say. Mna Sisthembi, it was so empowering to see imali engena ebhankini, not because of umsebenzi, but because of my exchange, my trade. I now look at myself as an instrument when it comes to those things, and instruments to share my testimony when it comes to business. I haven't reached the pinnacle of success, but I'm doing pretty well, and actually exceptionally better than when I was still in the working or in the corporate environment. So it's gotten to the point whereby, and as Jongayo, having the knowledge that I have accumulated from being in corporate, nosebenza, and also having a business, is something that has really fueled my life, and I would really like nabantu to experience that. Uqala kancinci ke, Sisthembi. You're not gonna go all big, because those are the big mistakes that we make, and those are the myths esizivayo ngabantu, that you go big or go home. No, don't go big, because uzokonzakala. And also this thing of letting go of your job while you are still establishing your business is not the way to go. It's very important to try to establish your business. If you are fortunate enough to be in a job at the moment, carry on with your job, and then yazi xa upusha into one-passion ngayo awuzulala. awuzolala because you're so excited about this extra thing. And also emsebenzini, they can't really get to you when you get the frustrations asemsebenzini nophatheka kakubi, when you know that ikhona into yakho esecaleni ubajonge nje ubuqonda uba anazi kwamna ndibhizi yenye into. You understand? Awuphazamisani namntu, yonke laa energy ne-anger yakho uyikhuphela phayana kule nto yakho incinci iqalileyo. Kule nto yakho incinci iqalileyo is pretty simple. Yinto nawe ubuyidinga. If you are in a space whereby ubuswela something qona yeah asana jonga Saturdays yasokoleka iparafini apha, you must be that person that provides it. That's where it all starts. So you're going to solve the problems abantu. Mna ke I made a major mistake because when I'm fully office yam, starting where I have experience, that is definitely not the route I would advise. And abantu balathanda uthetha ngoba into passionate ngayo. If you're passionate about dancing classes and you are in a place where people are not really concerned about those type of things at the moment, then I mean you're hitting yourself. I think eyona nto ibalulekileyo is to recognize uba yintoni enidekayo. So ke mna ke fortunately navula iofisi opposite college. Mamasbury is a very small town. Eleke 5 minutes nqo umuntu ufuna ukwenza photocopy, nqo ufuna ukwenza photocopy, manje charge 50 cents, manje charge 50 cents. Bona ba mamela akho nto yenzekayo apha kule office ngaphandle koba abantu bafuna photocopy, abanye bafuna CV, ton. And then my business had to evolve. And then we became a bulk printing entity. And then they approach college across the road. Babuza ba exams niziprintelwa ngobani. Application forms niziprintelwa ngobani. That's how the business really started booming. Then I started receiving requests for quotes from college, and then they started ordering from us. Nathi ke ngoku, and then it started becoming bigger. Then I also approached ezinye colleges to do the same. Then it started becoming bigger. Obviously, andizuba immune kwi-challenges. Xa zivaliwe izikolo and ngale nto ye-COVID, papers are not the in thing anymore. Most people are now applying online. Exams are like a digital thing. So business here had to also now evolve and fit into other categories. See a bend niche sort of into your printer and paper, because the paper was not now into a kutazai. So basically for me, that is my journey in business. Business yam ngoku it has ilantuka ezi3 departments ezi3. A1 ye-IT. So we are partners with Cisco. We offer cybersecurity packages. Enye department ye-energy, because they exposed kwindaba yelantuka ye-production plants, so we are able to source components as technical and as specialized. And then thirdly, because also background yami chemical engineering, I know quite a bit about chemicals. So we source chemicals, and then ke ngoku kwakho umntu last year beginning of COVID also kwa NGO ndakhe ndayenza i-program yabantu basekuhlaleni edibene ne-detergents, ne-handy ne-sunlight sasizama uyenza as a community, but zange ndiphumelele ncam. But I still had the ratios and how to mix those things basically. So ukhona umuntu wayeyazi lo information was apha kum, and said that we actually need sanitizers. And then that's when we started to manufacture sanitizers in bulk. Saqalisa supplier nationally. Kwavela into yobana ii-offices ziyanida ufogishwa, udisinfectwa, udipklinwa ngenxa ye-COVID. Saqalisa uofarisha ezo services, nazo sizenza ngoku nationally kooMadzanini, Cape Town, njalo, Nelspruit. So basically, I never ever anticipated uba ibhizinesi izawuhamba ihambe ifikelele kule nto or kule level okanye ndizabe ndisenza le nto. Actually, I used to undermine indaba ye-cleaning, just thinking but oh God, wonke umuntu phaa kwa-cleaning, and actually i-corruption igcwele phaa. But because of the need, and also the fact that umntu uthi okay guys nithengisa sanitizer, ninokwazi ukuza nizofogisha apha nizodisinfecta, you know. And I think for mna, And also the people out there, the most important thing is to qala into yakho noba incinci kangakanani. You need to start something. Noba incinci kangakanani, it always lands up to the next step and to the next step and to the next step. The only important thing is just to keep on pushing forward and to keep on trying to apply yourself with business. And izinto ziyenzeka, Sisthembi, ziyenzeka izinto mna. I'm so surprised about how fortunate I've been. I've been approached by corporates as they put in big money into our business. Corporates that come in and just spend money for machinery bethu. Obviously now you need to be umuntu onomqolo or transparent, who's going to be very honest and explicit about imali uba yenza ntoni ntoni when you have people funding you. So basically that's been my journey. And another thing is I really love to share encouragement. Sisthembi yayazi manje ne-podcast yam, and I always talk about my struggles and ups and downs, and also encourage abantu to qala something. Wow, that experience of having money come into your bank account, engaveli kuma-stand. I can't explain that feeling. I don't have words for that feeling. So I really would like, and it's actually very much biblical, you know, because somewhere in the Bible it talks about if you sow sparingly, you will reap sparingly. If you sow generously, you will reap generously. And I'm thinking by generously is using all our tools and talents that God has given to us. Generously, because ayikho enye moment yozisebenzisa. It's right here on earth, and it is at this time, you know. Worse, now we are coming at places where we must prove survival, prove to be strong, and prove to stand up for family zethu. Iwesi ungumuntu ongumama. I mean, umuntu ongumama is so strong. Andithethi obu strong ubophakamisa into ezinzima, ubu strong ubongalili. No, siyalila, we'll break down, but we leave the room alive. We leave the room siphila, you know. So we have that deep inner strength that is required in business, and we have that nurturing thing, you know, that is required in business. And andifuna ukuxoka, most times I win just because of that, because umuntu uyabona uba okay, nangona usezingqondweni but ndiyambona uba ungumuntu sensible. People want to work with people like that. So I'd really like to khuthaza the youth and nabantu abangomama that it's time to go for it. It's now.
Thank you, Thulas. Thank you so much, my dear. That's a wonderful story that someone can learn a lot from it, that you need to start. No matter what, you need to start. I always love when I watch the social media talking about people who want to lose weight, but they keep on sitting on the sofa, munching fat cakes, munching everything, but you want to lose weight, but you don't put an effort. I'm just making a practical example. But what I like, I've got a quote I also like, ethi, izinto esinazo, sakhe asabinazo. Nezinto esinazo, sisezongabi nazo. I love that quote. I'm not sure noba Mfundisi would say, nguwe Thembazana uthetha kule quote, are you young? So I've learned to say, it's either it's me who's talking to the quote or the quote is talking to me, to say, when you speak about your own experience, othi waquthelwa imoto, wazimela, but eventually we had to let go of the key. And I'm sure you were bleeding. It was not easy to say, oh my God, my name, the reason why I invited you to Lights, it's because most women are struggling. Most women are suffocating under gender-based violence because besithi asinaban. And today we want to say, even if you are selling chicken feet, even if we are selling sweet okanyama orange, But the problem here too, we want to fold arms and sikhongozele. But that we cannot blame, singablame uhulumende osikhulisileyo, but now fanele sizenzele ngoku, ithi into vukuzenzele. So I like your story. I would really give to my listenership to ask questions about if they have questions or clarities or comments. If they don't have, then we close our session for today. Thank you very much for your, I like when you say you need to evolve, fit in, check the surroundings. Yintoni edingekayo. Umama kaloku ngumuntu onjalo. Umama ngumuntu onamehlo abona izinto ezingabonwayo. Othi umntana akhe ngena amjonge indlela ahamba ngayo athi kwenzeke intoni kuwe namhlanje, amjonge emehlweni. You look the society ohlala kuyo and check their needs. Honestly speaking, ngoku abantu sebefanda for ezi zinto. You won't struggle into ebheke pha because there's funding. You just need to collect your mind. Udibane nabantu abafana noNokuthula, ask questions. Umuntu ufuna ukwenza lento ubheka ngaphi njalo 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 njalo. So I will give time if you want questions of clarities and comments. Abantu baphakamise izandla. If not,
if I could chip in there, Sister Thembi, kule nto uyithethayo about fundings and things. Fundings is zikhona out there, zikhona fundings out there, and they will assist. But if funders, into endiyiqwalaseleyo, they want to see that ungumntu oqalileyo.
okay.
When you still have your thing in an idea stage, you are less attractive to them than umntu othi sendinazo izinto. And then also benifuna encourage abantu ndithi lento yo registership business, umntu acimba ndifuna uqala business ndi-register. No, ayibalulekanga lento yo registership business. Ungane business ungayiregisterishanga, ungafandwa for business yakho ungayiregisterishanga. If ndithathe into ndayithengisa ndenze profit, business leyo ndigqibile. That we call a sole proprietor. For the paperwork required, you're gonna need your personal things, your personal tax clearance, your personal bank account. Those are the things needed. Ayikho enye into. So this thing, kondayiqwalasela abantu bathi ndizoyiregisterisha business now, ndayiqala business. You don't need any of that stuff. If ubuthenge ikawusi walithengisa, business yakho iqalile. Yeah, understand? That is it.
And I always hear people saying, I want to register my business, and it takes 3 years. It takes 3 years and 4 years and 10 years starting. So here is the information. It comes with a platter. Izakuni, city. You can start. Don't be afraid to lose things. Because remember, you can't eat fish and chips. I'm sure iseke vater na sonka okubaseke emqaleni kodwa uyazaza phujonge khona into bana after some time I will eat into endiyithandayo. So it means you sacrifice.
You sacrifice for that freedom system. You sacrifice for the kind of life that you want to be living, and also you sacrifice for ungabopheleleki kwintando ekaboss wakho, kwintando yabanye abantu. You know, that freedom nje in itself, it's priceless. You know, it's something I thought to myself, no, I'm willing to suffer for bandiyazi ba akho omnye umuntu ozawuma phezulu othi hey ba uyenza le nto ndizakunika warning, you know, ungcutheka kanjalo. I mean, those are not the things. Also nalento yokucinezeleka kwi-relationship whereby you are being maintained ngumuntu ongutata ukwenzela yonke into funeka uhlala uzizimiles noba umuntu wenza isigezo noba umuntu yakuhlukumeza funeka uhlala uzizimiles. I mean, a sacrifice to get out of that kind of life is incredible. And I've seen women also who have been in dire situations whereby umntu uphetheke kakubi, umntu akaphangeli, utata ubhizi uyamngcungcuthekisa, but managed to find a way silently. Okay, yabona ke le yoyenza silently into yakho also iba mnandi because you don't have umntu oshouta phezu kwentloko yakho when it fails, or okanye umntu oshouta phezu kwentloko yakho when things don't go right. Yeah, understand? So if you know you are servicing ezo customers zakho ngaloo ndlela, even online, even uthengisa ilekesi, uye nge-break time or esikolweni, like whatever, umgushuzo oqala kancinci, because ngoku all of a sudden kufundwa nezipaza. I-township economy is something that is very much uplifted. So, I mean, into isekuqaleni komntu nje uba uyaqala, izinto they are bound to get better.
Okay, thank you so much. My audience is quiet today. Sorry, because I don't know. But this also adds up to our conversations of having inner peace. This is adding up to our conversations of having inner peace, your own business. Yes, of course, business you will have to wake up if you funa equal. But at Gabelen, uzawukhe na ube yiboss ulale. Usend email lapha makwenza into ethile procurani yithani but uqale bunzimeni.
Dim law Sithembi.
Exactly.
Dim law Sithembi. Andifuna uvuka, andifuna uvuswa. In fact, andifuna bendicelela abantu uba mabathini, abantu mabenze umsebenzi wabo ndiyababhatala month end. Injalo. No, umntu makayenze iservice yakhe, andifuna bendivuka ndileqana netraffic. But it becomes very complicated because I work with my husband. He's also employed by the business. So uthanda uthi, hey, masahambe ndithi yimbo. Andizoleqa traffic, ndizawuhlala apha kwi-laptop ndiphendule abantu ii-emails. Bani nisebenzani nina nizawubhatalwa yikhampani mfondini.
How nice is that to have your own life othandwa nguwe, but into ebalulekileyo is to start somewhere.
It's very important to start, and it is very important to not give up. Zikhona tough times, nam andikho immune to tough times. I-civil unrest nayo yes affecta because i-customers zethu ngabantu abathenga often. So nathi zikhona challenges Sithembi, but for uba this type of freedom that I've regained and this new perspective endifumeneyo is priceless. And again, mandigxininisa into yobana umntu angaleqe uyeka umsebenzi wakhe engakaqalisi uyiseta up. I-energy yakhe yokubana ephetheke kakubi okanye nomhlaba kaphethekanga nakakubi shem emsebenzini, if they're doing everything but uyaziva nje yena uba andonelisekanga because ndisebroke ndiphinde ndibabroke ndipeye ndiphinde ndibebroke ndipeye ndiphinde ndibebroke. I mean, I don't want to be living that kind of life. So ezo zinto ezo zifanele uba zizinto ezipusha umntu uba azixelele uba mamela, I'm going to attempt this thing and I'm gonna really do it. So it's like you take that energy uyifake apha kule nto izamayo isecaleni, and it works. It has worked for me. Like I say, both my husband and I are employed by the business, and we are living a very life all right with.
Okay, thank you, Sissy. Any questions? Any clarities, comments? Right. And he said, "Thule namhlanje indaba."
Ayibo, uRev Yvonne ndiyambona uba ikhona into afuna uyithetha.
Sisibone uyafuna uthetha? Unmute yourself.
Mandibulise ndixolise ngofika late. Bese nditshilo kumfundisi uba ikhona enye indaba ekufuneka ndiqale kuyo. This is very interesting because mna nentombi yam we've just started i-construction company. So ndimamele ke ngoku ndiyakha phana phaya. Into nayo ke ngoku ngenxaba sendifike late ndifika sekuvalo. So ndiza kuthi ke noba sele ligqithile elithuba ndidibane nayo uMama uMgwebile and then asincede. Kodwa ke angase enceda mna kunye nentombi yam, ancede kunye nabanye oomama. I'll just collect maybe a few women who have just started nabo businesses, and then azeke azos address ndiva kabuhlungu kakhulu into okokubana ndifike late ndaphoswa zezinye izinto esezithethiwe. Kukhona ke le nto yokuthi ukuyeka nokungayeki emsebenzini iyingxaki because ndakhe ndayeka emsebenzini ndayoqala ibhizinesi ndabethwa ukungafocus kunye nokungazithembi. Apha phakathi ndavela ndaba nento yokungazithembi mna into yobana ndingakwazi into yoba ndiyofikelela kule ndawo bendifikelele kuyo. But also I think enye iproblem kwakukuthi ndoyika i-success. Ingathi ngoku mna yabona ingathi why ndizawuba bhetere kunabanye abantu. Ndayoyika ilaa nto i-success into yobana xa nemali eninzi ndizawuba neemoto, mna iimoto ezintle, bani wona bazawuthini.
Uligwala kanti.
Intlungu yam nangoku leyo into yobana ngelaa xesha ndabethwa yiloo nto into yobana ndizawuhlala mna ngaselwandle, abanye abantu bona besahlala phaa endandikhula kunye nabo. Ndiyayithetha, I haven't shared this with anybody, but ndiyayikhupha namhlanje because yaba into eyandimisayo leyo. Sele ndiqala ngoku ndilixhegwazana njena. Ndithetha ngento eyenzeka maybe 25 years ago.
Wow.
Ndoyika into yokokubana azawuthini obani. Yeah. If you can just sisuse loo nto leyo ngamanye amaxesha into yobana obani ndikhula nabo mna phaa e-56 uyabona NY56 ngoku mna xa ndizawuthi gqi apha ngeBenz yabo i-right naloo nto okanye i-wrong.
Iyavakala sisivoni kakhulu, you know. Singabantu we have i-mindset ezithile when it comes to indaba yemali. We have a relationship ethile when it comes to indaba yemali, and those are things that sometimes sikhule nazo, we've been observing, and then they become ingrained in our mindsets. When we had just started, you know, there's a very sacred place that everybody owns, and that space is only occupied by you and God. And only you can open the door to let other people come and mess that around. Everybody knows about this place I'm talking about. Apho akusebenzela khona endlebeni ube uqonda uba you are so clear about what he wants you to do. But what do? We expose ourselves to abanye abantu to interpret that. Ngelo xesha we already know what it means bafuneke sithini. Yeah, understand? So I think it's very important to be very clear of your sacred moment and your sacred time with God. That meditation space, it's very sacred, Landa. It's a very beautiful place. Because deep down, you know that all of this stuff is meant for you. It's meant for us. Because I don't think we are intended to live in such suffering. No, we are not intended for that. And also now I had to do a lot of work to dismantle indlela, you know, uba imali eninzi ayenzelwanga mna okanye imali eninzi anokwazi usuka izihlalele nje ebhankini, you know, ndifuna uyirhazula ndiyayibona. So just to get away from his own mindsets, I had to put in a lot in terms of attending izinto ezinjengezi webinars, nabantu abayiqhelileyo imali, nabantu abaziqhelileyo ii-opportunities, ubone nje indlela abacinga ngayo nendlela aba-approacha ngayo izinto, uqonde okay, hayi mani lo mntu ucinga uba it's possible nyhani into yoba global, like laa nto isepha yam ingathengwa overseas. You understand? And umuntu uyithatha light, into enganamsebenzi kuyo, uzayenza isepha apha esinkini uyithathe uyirepishe ngento entle ebhalwe Africa, uyayithumela eEurope bayithatha ingathi yinto nantso. You understand? So also it becomes very important to expose yourself to people with different mindsets. Fortunately, ngoku there's all these webinars flying around. Right nje sometimes ukugxumeka ujonge uba kuthethwa ngantoni apha. inoba kuthethwa ngantoni apha aba bantu bacinga kanjani. Mna ke I spent a lot of time ndisiya kwi-life coach. I-life coach eyayingumlungu wayesothuka indlela endicinga ngayo ngemali, ndiqonda uba hayi imali mayekwe. Uba ikhona mayiyekeni ihlale mayingamoshwa. Ezi zezi zizideprivayo because ekugqibeleni funeka uyikhuphe i-100,000 izobuya yenze i-120,000. Awuzukwazi uhlala nayo ube uyigona umane uthenga isonka, iyacutheka umane uthenga isonka ese-R50 every day umane, understand. So ezo zinto zozi-expose nje kwilantuka kwiimbono zabanye abantu and how other people perceive things ziyanceda for udilutha the way thina esibona ngazo izinto. Ndibona ingathi indincedile mna in my role. I really now see things differently, very differently kwabantu, because ndiyabona uba abantu are like, mamela ustresswa yintoni, susstreseka, khululeka, you know, izohamba izophinda ibuye, and kubona it's just how it is, it's the flow of things, you understand. So kuyabaluleka uzi-expose to different people, not always sihlele kwezi groups sizizo naba bantu singabo, and neentanga zethu, you mix with iintanga zothuli, abantu abadala, otatomkhulu abaseCanada, umameli bakuthethwa ngantoni apha. You know, those things become really, really valuable, and I think mna ndifunde a lot ke just from iingcinga zabanye abantu. Yabo, ngoku sometimes xa ndibuyela kwiitshomi zam zaseGoogle ethu 150 ndiva uba kucingwa kanjani, ndiqonda hey, hayi guys, ikhamente papayini betinandi.
Ufike ungafithi tu.
Endiqonda uba nithetha ngantoni guys, papayini.
No, that's good. That's good. I am not sure, Nokuthula, if you are familiar or is it safe space for us just to hint people about these quick schemes of businesses. Abantu basophana namhlanje ngu-Triple M. Waphela u-Triple M kwangenenye, waphela u-Triple M ngoku ngena u-Bitcoin. Are those businesses okay or safe for us to embark on them?
For me personally, I'm not a big fan. I'm not a big fan. I'm a very, very big fan of into authentic yakho. I want to see into endiyithengisayo, ndibone nomntu oyithengayo and those type of things. So indaba ka-Triple M and those quick, once la mali, actually, if you hear yourself xa ibalisela umntu uthi it's too good to be true, it's too good to be true, so I exist. You understand? Once it gets to that point, le idea, ufake 10 rand, kuphuma 100 rand, it's too good to be true. It's not possible. You understand? So also, kubhlungu ke, because abantu abalali ibayenza ibhizinesi yabo into yosiscammer. People are making it a business indaba yokuscammer out of our monies. So sihlala nje umuntu ufuneka uhlala uthe dlanza uba into yantoni lena, khona nomnye shengu umama bendithumele yena, ndiqonda andiyiqondi kakuhle into ye-funding, uya-aplya and then they've got all these big monies, it comes after 6 months and then funeka ufake 10,000. Too good to be true. Too good to be true. Ke ndala ndisitsho kuye, but sendisitsho like izinto ezinjalo xa qonda ilula gqithi mani le nto, kutheni izaba lula so. And ke nam I've had very close people being scammed out of ii-pensions zabo, being scammed out of iimali zabo ezinkulu because they were hoping to make money out of those things. Into funeke siqale kancinci. O-Triple M bekwazi usifumana is because nathi wisiya ngamandla. It's important to try things out. If you are feeling good about something, it becomes very important to try things out. But yonke into, let's do it in little doses. What really helps me also in business, I really put myself out there. I go out there. I bid for tenders, I engage with partners. Ndiyazixhoma ke mna ke Revivon, andicinga uba ndiyazixhoma, ndithetha ngongathi I can move mountains xa ndisendizipresenta. And then it becomes very, very important. Uyilandelela into, check in ebantwini ba, okay, sis wawuthe unomdla ngothenga iikawusi zam, mamela ndiredi ngoku, nazi endinazo ii-pictures, nto, you know, that type of conversation, just to keep things going. And also, don't lose a moment not talking about construction business. Everywhere you walk in, you must talk your business. It's what you do. It's what feeds you. It's what puts food on the table. So that has also helped me a great deal. Listen, abantu bazawuqonda bathi ke business woman, don't. But when we are asked why you are doing that and why you are carrying on, so it's been very instrumental and very assisting. Uyenza ngolo hlobo.
Thank you so much. Leslie Nokuthula, just confidence kubantu who wants to start and keep on procrastinating that no, next week, no, next month, no, next year. What is your last word to those people who are scared and build up their confidence on these things, like Sis Voni is sharing with us her own experience?
I would like to say, Bantwini, that it's very important, like I said, ukuqala. Fortunately for me, ndinayo background ekwazi uyonikerisha up in other rooms, but for business, the beauty of it, you don't even need a qualification. You don't need a grade. If you can count your money, and also you have a way to work with people, okanye uthethe nabantu, mna ke can confidently say, when I speak to people, people want to be on my team, and it just says, Von. So if you are that person, and also try to engage abantu, if you are shy, this thing is just not gonna work. Shyness, put it aside, because shyness is not gonna feed you. You're going to have to get out of that shell. You're going to have to let people know uba uthengisa lento, and you are best at it, and ready, and you are ready to deliver. That is what I want to say.
Thank you so much. Let me just read the comments. If you have a question or clarity or anything, just raise your hand. Okay, this one is old. Okay, thank you. We have learned today in Ndizozamanam okwam ndikhangele the need around. Yo ndim low pay and broke. Thank you, Stana Zam Sizozama. Kuraf nyani, divile mamam, kunini ndisithi ndiyaqala. Kunini ndisithi ndiyaqala i-business, phofu ndisitsho ngomlomo ngoku I am encouraged to start ngoba ndifumene amacebo enkosi kakhulu. Thank you, Sisi Sivile. Siza kwenza njalo. God bless. Thank you so much, Bazalwane, for your time, for your data. I always say I really appreciate abantu who log into this platform, because we have so many things to do in our spaces, so many things. We are tired, we are frustrated, we've got Wi-Fi, we've got Netflix, everything is there. It is my first time to hear somebody, Oti, she does not own a TV in her house. This woman who is talking with us. Uthi akanayo iTV endlini yakhe, nabantwana bakhe bayayazi endaweni yeTV kuhlala ishelf yencwadi, which is very powerful. You will never regret it, because our TVs does not help us to build umntu today. If you watch Generation, and what do you expect? What do you expect to see in our generation, in the future generation? Honestly speaking, our TV is not helping us. I like when I watch, there is one soapy that I love that is playing at, I think it's 195, Elif. Abantu sebesela utywala pha buyagqunywa. When the couples are kissing, bayagqunywa, respecting, instilling discipline ebantwaneni. But our TVs, it's a mess. It's a mess. I don't even want to talk about it. But thank you very much. Hi, Buko. Here is my #1 fan. Hi, Buko. Buko. Right, man, Dlamini, Nkosi, that is my number one fan. Soloko eloga in. Thank you so much.
Oh,
uDlamini ukhathazelwa ngamehlo.
Oh, yini uDlamini mcithi makayothenga i-eye drop, i-ear drops afake emehlweni. Inoba usoloko esekhompyutheni okokoko.
Uyile nasedokotela.
Oh, nakadokotela uyile.
Ewe.
Uzuthi simushele i-speed recovery umfundisi yeva.
Okay, mfundisi.
Nkosi boy. Sisifona ukhasithandazele ntombi khasenzele iwonga loba usithandazele samkelele ufefe. Thank you bazalwane. Sleep well. Kuyabanda. It's quite chilly this week, but thank you for your time. Thank you Nokuthula. Thank you so much, my dear. Unmute yourself, Sisifoni.
Bawo onamandla onke sewenkosi yethu nguYesu Kristu. Thixo wethu siza phambi kwakho ke Nkosi yam. Kwakhona xa sizawulala siza nombulelo. Sibulela ngale mini yakho ke Nkosi yam. Imini entle, imini yangoLwesithathu kule nyanga Thixo wethu. Sibulela ke Nkosi yam ngamathuba usoloko usinika wona. Uvule ke Nkosi yam ingqondo zethu, uvule namehlo ethu. Siyabulela ngolo thando lwakho. Naba ke Nkosi yam abantwana bakho, amakhosikazi aseMzantsi Afrika azimiseleyo ke Nkosi yam okokubana aphathe isibane. Angasiphatheli nje kuphela iifamilies zabo, but aziphathele ke Nkosi yam nabo bonke abantu abasekuxakekeni. Thixo nenceba engazange iphele, siza kuwe ke sizowucela Bawo wethu wasezulwini. Sicela amandla ke Nkosi yam, sicela ukholo ke Nkosi olungagungqiyo. Thixo nenceba engazange iphele, sithembe wena ke Nkosi, masingaze sidaniswe. Nantsi ke Nkosi le nyanga, inyanga yamakhosikazi, inyanga ke Nkosi yam emele okokubana siyakhululeka, inyanga ke Nkosi yam emele okokubana siyajabula. Siyayazi ke Nkosi yam into yokokubana imingeni ikhona emakhaya, emisebenzini, ekuhlaleni apho sikhonza khona. Thixo nenceba engazange iphele, hamba ke kunye nathi kule nyanga, hamba nabantwana bakho kwimizamo yabo ke Nkosi yam. Baxhase ke Nkosi yam wena Yesu, wena gxalaba elibanzi. Nantsi ke Nkosi yam le nguqu yenziwa ngumntwana wakho ke Nkosi yam, isikelele nayo uyithamsanqelise. Mayaziwe ngamakhosikazi amaninzi ukuze azuze ukuphila, ukuze ke Nkosi yam abone ngamehlo mambi. Thixo nenceba engazange iphele, sizawulala ke, siyakucela okokubana ulale kunye nathi, usikhusele. Thumela ke Nkosi iingelosi zakho, sisigcine ke Nkosi, sihlale emazantsi eebhedi zethu. Nangomso Bawo wethu uhambe phambi kwethu, sibambe ngesandla sakho esinenceba. Thixo nenceba engazange iphele, abantwana bakho kwimigudu yonke abayenzayo ke Nkosi yam, yisikelele, uyithamsanqelise. Yandisa ke wena ke ngendlela ekhethekileyo. Sisikelele, usithamsanqelise ngalo wasifelayo onguYesu Kristu Nkosi yethu. Amen. Luze luthi ufefe lweNkosi yethu uYesu Kristu, uthando nobudlelwane bomoya oyingcwele uphumle kuthi sonke ngoku kude kube ngunaphakade. Amen.
Amen.
Khona
Thank you
nteni.
so much, Sisifoni. Thulas, may your business boom, my sister. Uqeshe more women. Uqeshe more women. So that
Yes.
bayeke ukuba phansi kwesandla sabantu ababacinezelayo. Please, we pray for abasebephumelele, masebephumelela ke. Thank you so much, bazalwane. Sleep well.
Ndiyabulela nam kakhulu Sithembi, also wethu. I hope ukhona ovileyo namhlanje. Siyeni
Sivile.
abantu abangoomama.
Umfundisi Komani spoke about the roadblocks when we opened the first month, the nyanga yomama. Sithi endleleni yethu kukho roadblocks. Sometimes siyazibeka ngokwethu, sometimes izibekile, and we need nobana sizisuse and move forward. Thank you, Mbokodos. Have a wonderful time. Busuku benzolo. Bye, bye. Bye, Buko.
Bye.
Bye, bye.
Bye, mfundisi.
Bye, boy. Hi, Timba. Slish, bye. Thank you so much. Nati, thank you.
Bye.
Uright.
Njani umfundisi
Hayi
wami?
ndirayithi bhuti mandirayithi akho nto.
Ndikuzile